What's going on, guys? MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I'm going to be going over the hardest hitting defense-based champions this game has to offer. And one thing I want to tell you right off the bat, we only have one legendary champion. Yes, of all the legendaries in the game, we have one legendary champion in the running here, which is quite incredible. One thing that I do want to talk about very quickly before I do go over this is there is one champion that I spent about 7,000 gems trying to get. It is a rare champion and he happens to have the highest defensive based multiplier in the game, and unfortunately I could not pull him, but I can still talk about him. Champion in question is surprisingly Chevalier. Chevalier is a rare of all things, so you heard it there. Obviously, more than just the multiplier, plays an important role in how much damage a champion does. This champion having only 1100 base defense is definitely at a disadvantage opposed to someone who has a slightly lower multiplier and maybe 1300 base defense or even 1400 base defense. But this champion's multiplier is significantly higher than the competing champions, so I thought that was very important to talk about while going forward, especially being a rare champion. Now, the specific skill is Stern Rebuke. This is the hardest hitting ability in the game from any defensive champion, whether it be legendary, rare, or epic. I want to talk about him. There is one more hidden gem in the rare section that I was not able to pull, and that champion was Pounder. Pounder's a really cool champion because he doesn't have the highest defense-based multiplier. He would probably rank just below the other champions I'm going to show you today. However, the ability that hits hard is called Spreading Ice, which is a 100% chance to freeze the target for one turn, giving it a 50% chance of freezing an additional target as well. So I thought that was really cool, especially for hitting as hard as it does. Also, he does have a pretty decent base defense, which, as mentioned before, definitely helps when trying to build this champion. So this is another rare champion where if you're looking for someone who brings a pretty good mix of CC and damage to your team, he could definitely be an option for you all the way to the end game based on how hard his abilities hit. So without wasting any more time, let's kick this competition off and start going through the roster and finding our first champion, who is going to be Norog. Norog is the only legendary of all the defensive legendaries that did make it into this competition. For those of you who don't know, he has this really cool passive, makes him immune to stun, freeze, and sleep debuffs, increases the damage all allies take by 15%. He will be in all of our dragon runs because he does provide a 40% defense in dungeons, which is huge and is the largest in the game, so we're going to see him throughout this competition outside of highlighting him by himself. Total stats we have on the Norog today is 34,000 health, 5,100, just under 5,200 defense, 100% crit, 258 crit damage. Now masteries, all the masteries are going to be the same, so I'm going to show you just one set of masteries here with the Helm Smasher one-shot build and the defense tree, simply for the first talent here, which increases the defense. Some of the other champions I did take the support tree for the book, increasing the stats from the gear sets, but a couple of the champions have broken sets, so I could get the most equivalent stats across all champions to make the competition much better than the last one. Now that we got through our first legendary, let's go over the epics in the race, because the defense-based champions, as far as damage goes, are highly populated with epics. After Norog, the closest champion to dealing damage on a high scale was Ignatius, but he was a little bit too low for me to justify adding to this video. I definitely have plenty of champions to show you guys, so this is going to be awesome. So as mentioned, we have Padma here. Total stats we have on her: 5,000 defense, just under 5,100, 100% crit, 260 crit damage. The skill in question is Appropriate. It is a single target that removes all buffs from a target and then places them on this champion. So this is the skill to watch. Her A2 does hit hard, which is an AoE, as well as the double hit A1. The next champion on our list is Grimskin. He is a Ogren Tribe's epic. We have 35,000 health, 5,300 defense, so I was able to increase his defense the most. A little bit lower on the crit damage at 251%, so everything evens out for sure. For his skills, we have Ichor Fling, which is an AoE, 100% chance to remove one random buff from each target. We have a double hit on the A2 and a basic single hit A1. Now the last champion who made it on our list here today was Deathless, another Night Revenant epic champion. So it's really cool to see hardest hitters in the game for a specific role in this game being defense be completely flooded with rares and epics on top over all of the different legendary options we do have in this game. Unfortunately, Deathless was the hardest champion for me to build, so I did have to kind of mix things around to compensate for the low defense. So we have 4800 defense here, 100% crit, 286% crit damage, so highest crit damage, lowest defense. I did the best I could here. As we can see here, we do have very low base defense on this champion compared to some of the other champions, so it was a lot harder. As well as gearing 4 champions at a time with the best gear I have, there is going to be a little bit of fluctuation. The good news is 200 defense is a lot, but it's not gigantic, especially since I do have a bit higher crit damage. So now let's get right into the fun here. Let's start our Dragon 16 run. We have, as mentioned, Norag as leader. We have the Whirlin for the increased crit damage. Then we have the defense down and weaken, and the defense up from Alton here. All right, let's try appropriate the A3. This is what we're going to be looking at. We do have Helm Smasher, so we're going to have to determine if Helm Smasher does in fact proc or not. Let's see. 205,000. We did not see ignore defense, so 205,000 is definitely a very solid hit without having a Helm Smasher proc. Now we do have Norag here, so what we can do is we can just blow the, let's save the A2. We'll throw on the A1, see what we get. 172,000 with a Helm Smasher proc. This one's based off of defense and attack, so this one doesn't really matter as much since we didn't stack any attack on this champion. And the multiplier being second for attack, that means it is lower of the two, so whatever you see first, defense, attack, HP, that will be the higher multiplier on the skill. So if you didn't know that, now you do. So let's go ahead and, so once again, we have defense attack on the A1. This is something I didn't look at before. Very interesting, so that's probably why the A1 isn't hitting as hard. We do have 59,000. I wouldn't say it's anything absolutely crazy based on the 205,000 non-Helm Smasher proc that we already saw here. All right, so now that we have this set up again, let's see if we can get appropriate to proc that Helm Smasher buff on this champion. Let's see what we get here. 249,000 damage from appropriate. So defense based, really awesome to see. Now let's give a go at Ice Pillar for Norag here. Let's test out this AoE. So 134 to about 144,000 each target, so that's pretty big. It's really fun to see. So overall, going over Padma, she definitely does have that kind of crutch in her kit where we have 2 defense attack based skill multipliers and then an A3 that does hit extremely hard. However, it is only based off of defense. So if you are going to build this champion strictly for damage, it's going to be really hard to swing all of the stats together to completely round out her kit for damage. So the next champion we do have on our list here to test is going to be Grimskin, the Ogryn. Let's get our defense up buff here. Let's start with the AoE, see what we get on each target here. 149,000 across the board, I think. I wasn't really looking too well. All right, so now that we got to test the A3, let's go ahead and test the A2 out from Grimskin here. See what we can pull off. This is a double hit, so I'm kind of expecting the first hit to not be huge, I guess. It is going to hit twice, so let's just see what we can pull out, and let's look for that ignore defense text. So 123,000. So I was extremely mistaken there. So this has the ability to hit 123,000 twice, which is absolutely incredible. Let's compare that really quick to Norag's A1, 167,000 with a Helm Smasher proc. So let's set this up again. Let's see Grimskin's A1 in action here. And for those of you who don't know, I definitely had a ton of fun figuring this out. So 153,000, that's absolutely insane here. What I was going to say was, had a lot of fun looking for all of these multipliers, seeing who had the best potential. If you've ever been in the official Discord, you know the moderator Dragon Paws. He's someone I work with really closely when finding this. Also, another clanmate of mine, Plutonium, had also done some testing on Grimskin before this. So definitely shout out to both of those guys. It's always fun when you can talk to a friend about something you really enjoy, especially tests like this. This is the kind of content I love doing personally, so I'm hoping you all are enjoying it as much as I am. Alright, so now it is time to test Deathless out. This is going to be the final champion in this competition, so let's see what kind of numbers we can get. Let's go ahead and watch this Norog A1 again, always fun to see it. Alright, here we go, Deathless. We have a single hit A1, single hit A2, and an AoE A3. Let's start off with Vile Insults, the A2. 3-turn cooldown, reflect damage, and provoke. Let's see what we can get here. 253,000 damage. So I think we have our winner. It's just the A2. I'm kind of excited to see what the A3 has in store for this champion. Let's throw it on auto. It's proven to be way too hard to cycle through all of these cooldowns. 80,000 on Deathless A1. Not the hardest hitting A1 of all the champions. Then again, we didn't have debuffs up, so that might in fact be the hardest hitting. But as far as the A2 goes, we have not seen a number that high yet. So as of right now, Deathless is in fact our leader in the competition. Which, as mentioned before, really nice to see some sort of balance here. Some people may not like this, how epic champions right now are the hardest hitting defense-based champions. Let me know what you guys think. I'm kind of torn about it. I think it's really good for the community. Alright, pausing that thought really quick, let's check out this A3 ability with defense down and weaken. 159,000 was the highest I saw there. Absolutely insane. So getting back to the point I was saying, what do you guys think about epic champions just completely flooding the top multipliers of defense-based champions? Do you like it? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it takes too much value away from legendaries? I know legendaries are much harder to access, so I'd be interested to know from a community of people who probably don't have a ton of legendaries at their disposal, what do you guys in fact think about something like this? So one point that I do want to make about these champions and about this video is, why should you care, besides the entertainment aspect of it? Who hits the hardest? Where can this help you? Obviously dungeons, this can help you. If you're looking for an arena nuker, whether it's AoE or single target, this can definitely give you a bit more options. Obviously there are a lot of champions in the game that hit hard that are defense based. This is just the top of the top, so that's something to consider. But the biggest thing for defense based champions is they are the best to get maximum value in a clan boss environment. So obviously the stats I have on them aren't even realistic for me to use in Clan Boss since the speed is low on all of them. So we're going to do a test key in Nightmare right now. We're just going to throw on auto right off the bat, which was an awful idea because Mr. Draco, I forgot that he doesn't use his defense down and weaken. So we're going to watch these numbers really quick. We just saw what the damage was like without a defense down and weaken. So now we're looking at A1. Obviously, they don't have War Master, and as mentioned before, don't look at this as some huge type of test for what you should expect. This is what I have right now in unrealistic gear using the Helm Smasher, which there's literally no reason you'd ever run that in a clan boss setting. So right here, you can kind of see how you can build a champion that's defense based for damage, and they take very little damage overall. So that's definitely something to consider. We do have Norog's passive here, adding that increased value to the champion survivability. So he can definitely find some use in the clan boss. I personally probably wouldn't run him. In my opinion, the best place to run Norog would be in a team where you can coordinate your buffs on the champion to shift all of the clan boss threat on the stun phase directly to Norog. So not only are you getting the damage reduction, but you are getting a damage reduction, you're getting good A1 damage from him, as well as someone who can soak the stun and never get stunned in return, which is huge. So obviously right here we have no counterattack. This is simply to show you how hard these champions can hit with their base kits. So this definitely adds a lot. If you do want to take one of these champions and let's say you only have one poisoner, you're missing a spot in your clan boss, this is an example of a group of champions you can use to your advantage. Instead of someone like a Mountain King like I showed last video, Mountain King definitely is good since he scales off of HP. So really quickly, we did have Deathless getting stunned a lot. So obviously her numbers are the lowest here, but 1.6 Grimskin to 1.5 Norog 1 million on death list compared to Alton, who isn't in a ton of damage gear, but he does have War Master on, so they're doing just about half of his damage. So like I said, this isn't supposed to be a showcase for you. I kind of just wanted you to see how hard they can hit on the clan boss, so you can make your own decision whether or not a defense-based champion who does hit hard can provide value to you and your team. Alright guys, that's it for this video. As always, thanks a bunch for watching. Thanks for the support. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoy making these damage dealing videos. I think it's really cool to see the huge numbers. Don't forget, if you like this content, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you make sure you're notified when I drop my next video. I'm going to be returning to the champion spotlights for a while because the requests are building up significantly for all the champions you guys want me to go over. I'm definitely going to go back to that, start releasing more of those spotlights for you. Outside of that, I do have plans to show you the hardest hitting AoE hitters in the game. That is definitely something I'm going to be doing in the future. But for now, I'm going to focus a little bit on champion spotlights, get that content out because you guys are asking for it. If there's anything else you want to see that I can provide for you, absolutely leave a comment below. Let me know what you want. I'm reading them all, as you probably have noticed already. So as always, thanks for the support. Thank you for watching, and until next time, peace out.